So here we see the next characteristic in the living things, that is the reproduction. So for this we see the question, can you tell what do we learn from these pictures? If we see these three pictures, what can we observe by these three pictures? So here we see a bird and its lay eggs. In first picture we see there is a bird and the eggs are present in the nest. Then second we see bryophyllum. Bryophyllum is the plant. Okay, in the bryophyllum plant it is the main leaf, and there another small leaves are produced on these main leaves. Okay, also we see the third picture, a mare and her foal. Mare and her foal. Mare means is a female horse. Okay, and foal means its baby. And then fourth one is a rose cuttings. Rose cuttings means we cut the leaves and rose which are present on the rose plant. Then there is a rose cutting. It is only stem which is kept in the soil, okay, for growing. So here we see these four images. So what can we observe, or what do we learn from these pictures? So here we see living things produce the other living things like themselves. If we see this picture, mare and his calf, mare and his foal. So here this mare produce her baby which is very similar to this. It is the foal of this mare. Okay, so here by this we can say that living things produce the other living things which is exactly same as like them. Okay, so themselves they look very same to with each other. So this some animals give birth to their young ones. So means here what happened, this production of living things is not same in the all living things. In some animals what happened, it directly birth to their young ones, means it directly give the birth to their babies. But in some cases what happen, in some animals or birds, they lay eggs and their young ones hatch out of the eggs. Means what happen, in the birds we see birds at first bird lays the eggs. Okay, if we see this image, the birds lays the eggs, and after maturation these eggs burst and there is a new young one is comes out of the eggs. So in this way, in these two ways, the young ones are produced by the living things. In first picture we see that it gives the birth to their young ones directly, means there is a birth of this baby takes place directly. This baby is directly born through this by this mare. Okay, but in the birds, if we see the birds, at first bird lays the eggs, and after growing complete growing, then this birds young ones is comes out from these eggs. Okay, so in this way the production of new living things is carried out. So here we see in plants also new plants are produced from the seeds, stems or leaves. So if we see if we sow some seeds, there is a formation of new plant. If we sow the seeds, for example for jawar, for wheat, or also we sow some pulses, so from these seeds there is a formation of new plants. Okay, it is the seed, from this seed this new plant is formed. So in this bryophyllum plant, this is the leaves. Okay, so these leaves, from these leaves, on these leaves there are small leaves like structure are produced. So here we see that the plants produce the new leaves or new plants from their other body parts. From the seeds it can produce the new plants. From the leaves of the plants, leaves also can produce the new baby plant. Also in rose plant we see the example of rose plant. In rose plants the stem also produce the new baby plant. So here we see the production of new baby plants for the all these various types of plants. It is done by the seeds, leaves and stems. Okay, so we see the production in these living things. Also the process by which a living thing generates a new living things like itself is called reproduction or procreation. So here we see what is the reproduction. So reproduction is the process. In this process what happen, there is a living things generate or living things create a new living things. Means here what happened, original first living thing create or generates a new living things, but new living things is exactly same as like a first one. Okay, so here living things have ability to create or generate a new living things, but this new living things is similar to this first one. So this process of generation of new living things like itself is called reproduction or procreation. Okay, so here we see what is the reproduction. So reproduction is the characteristic of living things. Okay, so use your brain power and answer this question. Why have so many types of plants and animals been able to survive on the earth even today? So here, because of this reproduction process, we say that the various types of plants and animals have ability to survive on the earth even today. Because of in the reproduction what happened, in the reproduction the living things produce the new living things which is exactly similar to the previous one. So due to this process of reproduction, the many types of plants and animals can be survive or able to survive up to today's day. Okay, so this is the answer of this question. Also you can find out the answer by using net or other material. So here we see the definite lifespan. Observe and discuss. Observe this following picture and discuss. That is the, if we see this picture, this is the tree. Okay, first he grow, and then after some period their leaves become yellow, and after in certain season what happened, these leaves of these trees get shaded. Means there is no leaves are present on this, but after raining what happened, this tree again become a green by developing the new leaves on this. And also we see the second, that is here a goat. Okay, it is the baby goat. Then it become a adult, it have ability to reproduce a new baby goat. Okay, so here it is a new baby goat. Then this baby goat become then adult. Okay, then this adult, it again reproduce the another one. Okay, so this process is continuously proceed. So due to this we can say that the various types of plants and animals can survive on the earth up to 2 days. Okay, so here we see the next point, that is the definite lifespan. At a certain stage of life, living things become capable of reproduction. If we see this, this is the first young one animal. Okay, then it become a adult. Okay, so after certain period it become a ability, or it have ability to create a reproduction or have ability to do reproduction. So at this stage it reproduce the new young one. Okay, so later on in life reproduction stage their organs become weak. So after reproduction what happen, the organ of this old animal become weak, and still later, and after some days their life comes to an end. Means after weakening of their body parts or body things or organs, after reproduction and some other time, then what happened, there is a times comes to the end of the animal or end of the living things. In other words, what happened, living things die. At the end what happened, at first it become a, there is a production of a baby animal. Then this baby animal become a adult, this young one become a adult. At the adult stage it have ability to reproduce, it reproduce a new baby as like itself. And after certain period what happen, due to this becoming adult and reproduction process, their organ become weak, and after certain period of time it the strength of body of this animal become a weak, and after certain period it get died, these animals or living things get died, their lifespan of this animal get finished. So here what happened, the lifespan of different animals and plants are different. Lifespan means time period from birth to death. So this is called lifespan. Okay, means how much time it can be survived. or the animals or plants can be survive on the earth, what is the time or what is the period. So it is the different for the plants and animals. So here we see the lifespan of dog is about 12 to 18 years. Means dog can survive up to the 18 years from its birth, while the ostrich lives for the 50 years. But the animal ostrich or bird ostrich can live or survive on the earth from their birth to the death, that is the 50 years. Okay, so you may have wondered what exactly the living things are, how they came into being, and so on. So here you can find out or you can shock about that exactly the living things are, how they came into being, and so on. So here we see the definite lifespan of the living things. If we see the stages of human beings, what happened at first, it is a baby. Okay, so at certain stage of life, living things become capable of reproduction. Means after certain growth up to this age. Okay, it become adult and it have ability to reproduce. And after reproduction, what happen after reproduction, it produce the new young one which is looking itself same as like it. Okay, so later on, what happen later on in life, their body organ become weak, and after becoming weak organs, it get die. Okay, it get die. So still later their lives comes to an end. In other words, living things die. So in that way, the definite lifespan means the time period for becoming baby child to the death, the traveling period from baby to their death. So it is the lifespan. Okay, so here we see the lifespan of different animals and plants are different. For a dog, we see it can survive 12 to 18 years, but ostrich lives for the 50 years. Okay, so here we find out the lifespan for the giant turtle on the Galapagos Island in the South America. So in the South America, on the island, which island? Galapagos. On this island, there is a giant turtle is found. Okay, so the lifespan of the giant turtle is about 170 years. Means it is a most uh, higher lifespan for the living things, from the all living things, that is that this giant turtle is survive up to the 170 years. Okay, on the other hand, if we see the lifespan of mayfly ranges, mayfly means there is a this another insect. Okay, this is the mayfly. It can survive up to 1 hour to the 24 hours. It is a very short period for the lifespan of these living things. Here we see the exactly opposite lifespan for the giant turtle and the mayfly. It can survive up to the 170 years, and it can survive up to 1 hour and 1 hour to the 24 hours. Okay, so it is the lifespan for the different living things. So here we see what is the lifespan for the all living things. Okay, so next we see observe a honeycomb and wall. What are they made up of? Means here you should observe these two things, that is the wall, any wall of any home or any building. Okay, so here we see the this image, wall and honeycomb. This is the wall and this is the honeycomb. So what are they made up of? Means by which things the wall is made up of and honeycomb is made up of. If we see in this image, you may have seen the small compartments. Means it is the small compartments, this one. Okay, these are the small compartments. And also here we see in the honeybee, this is the hexagonal small compartments. Okay, of honeycomb. These compartments are joined together to form a honeycomb. Means how the honeycomb is formed, these small compartments are joined together. Okay, this hexagonal shape, these small compartments are joined together, and all these compartments when joined together, it form a honeycomb. And also we see the wall, there are the small bricks. Okay, these are the bricks. When these bricks are arranged in a particular manner and joined these bricks together, it form a wall. Means how the wall is formed, when we keep these small bricks in a particular range and one above one and join these all the bricks, After joining, it form a wall. Also, we see the how the honeycomb is formed. There is a joining of compartments, small compartments, and joining of these small compartments, there is a formation of honeycomb. So here we see how the honeycomb and wall is formed. Okay, it is formed by the small honeycomb is formed by the small compartment, and wall is formed by the small bricks. Okay, so by this activity we see the how the body part of the all living things are made. So here we see a cellular structure, means our body is also is a combination of a very small particles. Okay, as like a wall and honeycomb, means the giant things is can be made by combining the number of small particles together, and when number of small compartment or particles get together, it form a larger size. Okay, larger size thing. So in this way we see the things which is related to the living, in living things, which is the small part of the living things. So here we see the cellular structure. Living things are made up of, living things also made up of the small units. So small units of living things are called cell. As we see in the wall, a small unit of the wall is a bricks, small unit of the honeycomb is the small compartment. So as like this, the small unit of the living things or the living things are made up of the very small things or small units. These small units are called cell. So all the actions and processes in the bodies of living things are brought about with the help of these microscopic cells. So means all the body activities which are done in our body processes or the actions which are carried out by all living things, these are carried out by these small units which are present in the living things, that is the microscopic cell. Microscopic cell means these are very small in size, which cannot be seen by our eyes. This can be seen under the microscope. So here we say that it is the very microscopic unit, that is the cell, which are present in our all the living things, and by this small units all living things are made. So here we see one by one living things are made up of small units called cell. So this is the structure of cell. This is the only one cell. Okay, it is a microscopic structure, means it cannot be seen by our naked eyes. It is observed under the microscope. When we see the cell under the microscope, it looks like this. Okay, so living things are made up of small units called cells. All the action and processes in the bodies of living things are brought about with the help of this microscopic cells, means all the processes and actions which are carried out in our or in living bodies, these process and actions are carried out by which part of the body, that is the microscopic cells. Okay, so some living things are made up of a single cell. So here we see the size of all the living things are different. Some of the living things are very wide and high, huge in size. Okay, but in some animals or plants or some organism is very minute. It cannot be seen by our eyes. It can be observed under the microscope. So why this size are variable? Because it is depend upon the number of cells which are present in that living thing. So size of the body or width of the body of the living organisms is depend on the number of cells which are present in that body. So here we see some living things are made up of a single cell, means it can contain only one cell. So these animals or these living things we call unicellular organisms. If we see the example, amoeba and paramecium, these two living things having only one type of cell. The body of this organism is made up of only one cell. So these are the unicellular organisms, and these cannot be seen by our eyes. It can be observed under the microscope. If we observe under microscope, amoeba looks like this. Okay, only one cell is present, and also paramecium is looks like this. So this is also we see under the microscope. So these living organisms are the unicellular organism, means it contains only one cell, that is the single cell. On the other hand, the living things that are made up of many cells are called multicellular, means some living things have number of cells present in their body, or their body is made up of number of cells combined together, and it form the huge size of the body of that organism. So such organisms are called multicellular organism. If we see the example, man means all human beings, cow, mouse, cockroach, elephants, banyan tree, the onion plant, etc. These organisms, if we see the example, these are the formation of this body is takes place by number of cells get unite together and it form this huge body part. Okay, like elephant, onion, snail. So these are the some examples of multicellular organism. So here we see all the characteristic of the living things are seen in every cell of the living things, whether it is unicellular or multicellular. If we see, there are two types of living organism, means the organism which contains only one cell, that is unicellular organism, and second is the multicellular, means which having number of cells present. These number of cells form their body. So all these types of living organisms, the all the living organisms have same characteristic. So here these characteristics are present in the all types of animals, that is unicellular animals and multicellular organisms. So here we see all the characteristic of living things are seen in the every type of cell, either it is unicellular or multicellular. Okay, so these are the pictures of cells. Okay, in some living organisms it contains this type of cell, in some living organism it contains this type of cells. Okay, only see this image, it is not in your textbook. Okay, so here we see the structure of cell, that is how the animals are made up of. The small unit of the animals or living things are made up of the microscopic cells. So here we see all these things. Okay, so institutes at work means here they give some information. So this information we see in our next lecture. Okay, so today we stop our lecture here. Okay, thank you, have a good day.